What's going on, you guys? It's Royce, and in today's video, I'm going to go over a few ways that you can invest in the cryptocurrency space if you live in Hawaii like myself. So, a little background, I got into the cryptocurrency space in about the first quarter of 2017, prior to that big bull rally we saw later that year, and I've been in it ever since. I've been invested. I haven't taken any out aside from a little bit off the top here and there, but for the most part, I've kept all of it in. I've kept learning. I still to this day educate myself. I watch videos regarding the space every day, and I really do love the space, and I feel like we are a revolutionary group of people who are interested in the space and looking to invest in the space. So I wanted to help all of my fellow Hawaii livers out there invest in it and get their foot in it if they want to. Okay, so I am gonna minimize myself so you guys can see the charts over here. Let's put myself in the corner down here. Perfect. Okay, so if you're familiar with the space at all, which I assume you are if you're watching, this is the Bitcoin chart. This is a chart of Bitcoin over roughly the past year. And because we live in Hawaii, there are certain sanctions and legalities in place that stop the exchanges, who are the buyer and sellers of the cryptocurrencies, from operating in the state because the fees are too high, and there's a bunch of just legal hoops that they have to jump through, which make it not worth it for them to participate in Hawaii. So that's why we have to go around the general Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., and go into these options that I'm going to talk about. So the first option is called Grayscale Bitcoin, which I have right here. So you're going to see that it looks almost directly correlated or very similar to this Bitcoin chart, and that's because it is. So this is going to be the single thing that you can buy that will be the most directly correlated with Bitcoin. So what Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is it's a trust. So they're pretty much the largest holder of Bitcoin in the entire world as an entire entity. So you can almost think of them like almost like a treasury, or they're like Fort Knox is for gold. So like how Fort Knox holds a whole shitload of gold, Grayscale Bitcoin holds a whole lot of Bitcoin. And when you invest in them, you're investing in them almost as a storage unit for your Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not your Bitcoin specifically, but you're investing in a piece of their company that owns all the Bitcoin, okay? So yeah, I'm going to go back and forth with these charts real quick just so you guys can see some of the similarities. Let's bring this a little more over here so it lines up near perfect. Not quite, but you get the point. So it's almost directly correlated to Bitcoin. So you guys trust me when I say that, like I said, I've been in the space since 2017. I've gotten kicked out of almost every exchange you can in the past just for trying to get in here. And back then you couldn't buy these. These weren't available on the market. And since then I've allocated a lot of my positions that I used to have in Bitcoin, Ether, Chainlink. I should say I still own some Ethereum and Chainlink in a separate wallet, but that's irrelevant. Anyway, so I would say definitely more than half of my entire crypto position is in Grayscale Bitcoin. So again, it's so not worth dealing with the headache of trying to get around exchanges. If you really want to have your own Bitcoin, which I get if you do, there are ways you can do it. There's a site called localbitcoins.com, which is kind of a peer-to-peer transaction way you can get Bitcoin. But I don't use that personally. I don't want to recommend it directly to you guys. But just know there are ways if you want to kind of skirt the system that you can get Bitcoin and Ether, XRP, etc. But it will be difficult. And I myself, who have been involved in the space for a while, have just resorted to Grayscale Bitcoin and what I'm going to show you now, which is Grayscale Ethereum Trust. So this is the exact same thing as Grayscale Bitcoin, but with Ethereum. So I personally, I have a little more invested in Ethereum overall than Bitcoin, I would say. It's about a 50-50, but I do personally like Ethereum as a project more. But again, when you guys are buying, it's all up to you. Always do your own research. Do what you think is right, not me. This is just my perspective. I'm just showing you where you can go if you want to take action on this. So again, this is Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and right here is actual Ethereum. So this one, because this trust is a little newer and it only opened up on the market recently, it's going to look a little more wild than the Grayscale Bitcoin to actual Bitcoin comparison. But over time, this will, I have to imagine, be almost directly correlated with Ethereum, as is Grayscale to Bitcoin, okay? So I do have a little bit of this now. Over time, I'm going to look into selling all of my actual Ethereum and then acquiring this this Grayscale Ethereum, because again, it's just so much easier. I use tdameritrade, which I'll show you right now how to actually buy it. So now you guys know what these are, and I'm going to show you how you can actually buy it. So the platform I use is called tdameritrade. If you're familiar with investing at all, I have to assume that you are familiar with this app. It is a very popular investment app. So if you are, great, you can just use that and hop on there and look up the ticker symbols, which are ETHE and GBTC. You'll see them in the corner right here and right here in my tabs. So you'll know what to look up. Just look up those if you have TD Ameritrade. And if not, I trust you guys are smart enough and capable enough to create your own account. So in the top right corner, it says no open new account. If you don't have one, it'll take a little bit of time to set up, but once you do, you're rolling. Okay, so create account. Sorry, I have so many tabs open, it's loading slowly. But yeah, so that's how I personally buy my Grayscale Bitcoin and Grayscale Ethereum. And I feel like it's reliable because these are over-the-counter stocks. So that means that you have to pay TD Ameritrade to go out and buy these shares directly from Grayscale. They do charge you a $6 fee for every transaction you make. So if you say Grayscale Bitcoin is $10 a share, you want to buy 10, you have to put in $106, okay? Because they're going to charge that $6 to $7 fee on that purchase, if you want a nice even number like 10, but that's just an example. Okay, so yeah, like I would highly advise you guys check out Grayscale Bitcoin and Grayscale Ethereum, because in Hawaii it is 100% the safest, most reliable way to invest in this cryptocurrency space. And actually, I didn't cover this. You see, these are all down right now. We just had a real strong bull market, little bull rally at the beginning of this year, beginning of 2020. And it was about time for a correction, to be honest. So that's healthy, though. You guys have to keep that in mind, that correction is healthy when you see what goes up must come down. But all that matters is that in the long run, it is going up. And I myself am very confident that it will continue to do so. And I hope you guys are too, if you are confident in this space and interested. Like I said, it truly is revolutionary. Okay, so this last one I'm going to show you guys is a publicly traded stock that is called Riot Blockchain. Okay, so as you can see from this chart, a high of $6.19 and where it's at right now, $1.25. This is a very dangerous stock to be invested in. But I personally have a little money in it just because I feel the upside is so strong. And what Riot Blockchain is as a company is they are a Bitcoin miner. So if you're not familiar with how kind of the Bitcoin transaction chain, the Bitcoin blockchain operates, is for every transaction, someone has to validate that transaction. So this is kind of in layman's terms. I'm not even super familiar. I don't want to sound like I am. But for every transaction that's made, there has to be miners on the other end who validate those transactions. And in return for validating those transactions, they get paid in Bitcoin. So it's kind of a give and take. But that's what secures the blockchain. And yeah, so Riot Blockchain, I wouldn't suggest going big if you do it all. But I do feel like over the course of the next year, especially going into this next bull cycle, this next bull market, which is where Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of the other cryptos reach their previous all-time highs, and then what I imagine to be will go beyond that, just because that's what historically has happened every single time. So again, if you are interested in this, I have a small stake in this myself, just because, again, I feel like the risk to reward ratio is so skewed towards the reward that even if you put in, say, $50 to $100, it could potentially turn into thousands maybe. But yeah, I do imagine that this company will do well over time. Obviously, it looks shaky because it's going with the hype, which you have to be prepared for. If you're in this space, there is going to be a lot of volatility, which is strong upward and downward movement very quickly. And but yeah, overall, I would I would say if you're interested in Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are the top two, of course, just check out Grayscale. Check out Grayscale Bitcoin. Check out Grayscale Ethereum, because they are, again, in my opinion, if you live in Hawaii, the best ways you can invest in this space overall. So I hope you guys gained some value from this. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm sorry this was kind of scattered. I kind of just did this on the fly, but yeah, go out and get your feet into this space. Get your feet wet. If you have any questions in regards to anything I talked about, or just want to talk at all, drop a comment. I'll answer all of them. And I appreciate you guys for watching again. So I assume I'm gonna do my best to do more content of this type. So if you guys want to see more, subscribe, and I'd appreciate it if you left a like rating too. So yeah, again, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll show you these guys because they were in the thumbnail. These are just Bitcoin and Ethereum coins. I just keep these on me just because I think they're cool. And again, I do love this space. I'm a geek over it. So again, hit me up if you want to geek out. And yeah, no, I appreciate you guys for watching. So I'll stop rambling on now, and see you guys later. Peace.